Hi, this is Jeanette from Happy Spots and Ink Spots, and today what I'd like to show you is how I use Twinkling H2Os over my Copic marker coloring. So what I'm showing you right now is an image from Whiff of Joy called Henry Hugging Heart. He's from the 2009 Christmas collection, and he's been colored with Copic markers. And now I'm going to show you the same image, which I colored with Copic markers, and then I went over that with my H2Os. So you can see how the shadows are much deeper. And you can also see, I think if I hold it up like this, you can see the twinkling from the H2Os, which is it's really quite pretty. So what I'm going to be using is the H2Os. I'm going to use a paper towel, a watercoloring brush, or I use a water tank brush, and you're going to need a glass of water just to rinse between colors. Now, this is how the H2Os come. They come in these little pots. They're dry, so when you use them, you reconstitute them with water. I think generally most people use these on watercolor paper to color with. I do that as well, but this technique is a little different. My paper is not watercolor paper, and the ink that I used that goes well with my Copic markers is not water resistant. So when I reconstitute these pots, I add just a little bit of water because I really want more of a paste. I don't want something too inky because that's going to ruin my picture. So how I reconstitute them is I take one of these mini misters and I just spray a couple of times on the surface, and that's just more than enough to create the paste that I need. The two colors I'm going to be using are chestnut brown and poppy red. So we'll start with the chestnut brown. Okay, don't know if I should zoom in a little bit here so you can see a little bit better. There we go. So as you can see, this is sort of working itself into a paste now. Okay, so I take a little bit and I'm going to dab it off on the paper towel until I get just sort of a little bit on my brush. Okay, so then, working fairly quickly, I'm going to go in where I think the shadows would be, and I add it. I wipe off my brush again with the paper towel, and then I just blend. Okay? Now, you can add a little bit of water to your brush just to make the ink flow a little bit, the Twinkling H2Os flow, but you don't want to have a very wet brush. And I'm just dabbing all the excess off on my paper towel as I go. So there's the tail done. Okay, so I'm going to work now over here. So again, you just sort of apply it, wipe it off, and just brush it down. Be some here, like this. Okay, this over, there would be some down here. Shadows. Also try not to touch the black line of your image because, as I say, the ink is not water resistant. I don't like to use my Copic markers on top of watercolor paper because it just sort of sucks all the ink out of my marker, and I find I can't really blend very well either. So this is why I'm using this paper. Alright, so again, you have to work fairly fast and just do little areas at a time. Okay, so now I'm going to go up onto his face. So again, I just sort of dab in the paint and then I brush off the excess. And then I come in just along the edges and dab it off and just rub it all in. Work it in, and I try not to go over my ink line. Now if you get a little bit like I have here, sort of out of the lines, just moisten your brush, wipe it off on the paper towel, and you can just sort of get rid of it that way. The paper I use is Nina paper, so it's fairly thick, so I mean there is some allowance for you know, working the color in. Work this up. Okay, and I want to blend. I don't want there to be a line where the Twinkling H2Os finishes. I want it to be very gradual. So again, I can dip my brush in water and pat it dry on a paper towel and then just rub. Okay, I think I need a little bit more up there. Okay, and maybe a little bit more up here in his ear. Okay. So that's with the chestnut brown. Okay. So next I'm going to use the poppy red. I'm going to make sure my brush is pretty well rinsed out. And again, I'm going to dab the top and wipe off the excess. And then just sort of trace the edge here and blend it. There we go. I'm going to have the line here again, so just with a clean brush, I'm just going to wipe it away. I'm going to do the same to the other ear. Oops. My 4-year-old just woke up from his nap. He's looking for me. Okay. Do the heart. Down here. Okay, so there you go. That's how I do this technique. I hope it was helpful, and thanks for stopping by. Bye.